Find that these eschatological texts were all speaking about those variant forms of sciences that many of us neglect because we're relying on the educational system to bring us back to our pristine state of glory, or we're so focused on being part of the rat race so we can get that job or the highest paying job so we can all make at least $20 or more an hour. That would be the glory for many of us, that we lose sight of what we really should be focusing on. The only reason I've ever been interested in making any form of money is so I can have the freedom to study, so I can transition from this state of existence into the next. That's my goal. So while people think I'm over here trying to stack this bread, pardon the language, while people think I'm over here attempting to stack monies to just buy a bunch of fancy cars and stuff, no, I'm looking to experience the world, different herbs, different waters, the sun at different spectrums, being as close to the equator as possible, where my genetics derives from. Okay, you have a feeling in you that stipulates, you know what, I don't feel like I belong here. And that's probably true because genetically you're from a different part of the world, and there's a yearning for you to be back where you belong by way of the geomagnetic grid. Also, you got to understand what they call ley lines. What are ley lines? These are powerful electromagnetic lines where there's energy sources pumping from planet Earth, with the Earth having a bio-octave or an octave of 8, okay, corresponding with the human being. You have to understand that when you look at these ley lines, there's parts of the planet that will encourage better thinking on the strength. Then you add what they call the telluric grid. What is the telluric grid? The telluric grid has a narrative that goes as follows. It's an electromagnetic current that exists in areas where good and or bad has taken place. So if someone gets shot, killed, murdered, beat, quite often in the hood, in the projects, people are constantly poor, getting evicted, losing their homes, nomadic, in homeless shelters, being abused, molested, raped, then that means that there's a telluric grid in that neighborhood that's going to stipulate that people will inevitably fail almost every time, in every instance, in that neighborhood. And it's not until people from that neighborhood travel to other areas that haven't been abused that they come to terms with the fact that, hey, I can succeed. Because the energies that exist in that area encourage success, because success is consistent with that area. But where there's abuse, where there's bloodshed, where there is damage taking place, like the World Trade Center being built on top of many slaves, it has to fall. And anything they keep building over there is going to fall, always be subject to trauma until they allow that space to heal, until they identify or rectify the situation that transpired years ago when they brought the slaves over there and built on top of the slaves. You have to allow spaces to heal. So this was the science of the libation. This is the science of putting flowers in the area, putting murals on the wall, so people can respect that space and let it heal. So that energy or that current that exists that is consistent with the trauma of the people affiliated with the person, in addition to the person himself that's been abused, so that can subside, so good things can take place there. But in the hood, it's at this particular point in time where I'm telling you energetically that you have to leave the hood. Too much bad is taking place in the hood for you to stay there. It's not contributing to your greatness, okay? And it's not designed for you to get the healing modalities from the sun. So you got the telluric grid working against you. The hours out the day that you have to go to work is going against you, and where you have to go to work is going against you, because it's structured in such a way you won't get what you need from the sun. And then you're worrying about diet. But part of the diet is the people you surround yourself with, the areas you are in, and the amount of sun that you take in addition to what? Coherent heart breathing.